It's fair to say that at this point the general public is waking up to some of the things that our governments did in the past. These have been released through various networks, mainly declassification channels, and it's helped us to understand how and why government officials were doing these tests. Many different theories have been put forward over the years for why our governments did these kinds of experiments, and the majority of the answers that are given is so that we can expand our knowledge. When people first questioned our governments on these experiments, 99% of the time they denied they were ever doing anything, and labelled those that pushed for answers as conspiracy theorists. This label has carried on into modern times, and is almost used as an insult to those that want to dig deeper. Take Project MKUltra for example. MKUltra sought to alter a person's mind to gain control over them. In other words, the US government and CIA were working together to use mind control as a kind of weapon. Those who questioned their true intentions were turned down and labelled as crazy or conspiracy theorists. The irony being that it could be argued that the scientists behind the MKUltra project were actually the crazy ones, and those who said that the United States government were conducting mind control experiments were actually the ones in the right. This has happened time and time again throughout history. Someone says something that sounds crazy, they are then labelled as being delusional or a conspiracy theorist, but then eventually the truth comes out and what they were saying the whole time was actually the truth. This is just one example. It's no secret that scientists have gone past that ethical line in the name of research, and one that's at the centre of many theories is animal hybrids. One interesting experiment that's allegedly been carried out by some of the world's best scientists is that of the Humanzee. One US scientist claimed that it's been done, and that scientists and researchers have managed to breed a human and a chimp to create the Humanzee. Psychologist Gordon G. Gallup Jr. detailed that he was talking with a former professor when he said he'd been involved with some interesting research, and this centered around creating a hybrid chimp. This happened at an animal research lab. It's a known fact that human and chimp DNA is very similar. In fact, evolutionary biologists have said that humans and chimps share 98.8% of their DNA. Gordon Gallup went on to note though that this hybrid was created in secret. He said that years of research showed the team that it was possible that this hybrid could exist, and so they went ahead and created it. Gordon said it was done by artificial insemination. The creature that was birthed was then called a Humanzee. The scientists, however, soon started to worry about the implications of the project, and what this creature would turn into. Gordon said the project was soon stopped and that the Humanzee was wiped out. When questioned about the story, Gordon said that it came from a scientist that he knew very well, and that this individual was someone he trusted and who had a credible record. When researchers questioned the primate center where the tests were allegedly carried out, they denied that this happened. Not really surprising when you consider that what they were doing was probably done with the utmost secret, and those involved were probably sworn to secrecy. Those that have looked into this story have said it may have been the case that those working at the primate center may not have been aware this was going on, and that the scientists involved in creating the Humanzee may have taken precautions so their tests wouldn't be exposed. Gordon said the following about the project. In the matter of days or a few weeks, they began to consider the moral and ethical considerations, and the infant was put down. He told me the rumours were true, and he was a credible scientist in his own right. End quote. As of right now, he has no hard evidence that these tests were carried out, but as some have said, for every secret project we know about, there's probably dozens that will never see the light. When you think that the mind control experiments were happening over 60 years ago, you can't help but wonder what other tests and experiments have been conducted. Interestingly, going back a few years ago, biologists took it upon themselves to carry out a test which would show them what a chicken and dinosaur hybrid would look like. This is the first step in understanding how we could create a 21st century dinosaur, and what the creature would look like. The scientists working on the project were able to isolate clusters of genes that aid in facial development. The team was then able to discover a way of stopping them in the chicken's embryos, and after doing this, what they were left with was an animal that looked very similar to what a velociraptor would have looked like. The lead author of the study, Bart Andrabala, from Yale University, said the following: "We'd not set out to create a dinosaur chicken. When examining an important evolutionary transformation, we wanted to find out about the underlying process. The beak is part of the avian skeleton that most extensively and radically diverged. We wanted to find out if the beak was functional." End quote. The scientists wanted to highlight the fact that the beaks develop in a much different way to snouts. This is because they use different sets of genes. This proves that the beak is an adaptation, as opposed to being a nose shape that is slightly different. Michael Bentham from the Bristol University in the UK said the following: "I believe that the move from snout to beak occurred roughly 40 to 50 million years after the Archaeopteryx. As of right now, the scientists have said they have no plans to hatch these raptor-looking chickens." The scientists went on to say the following: "These weren't drastic modifications. They are far less weird than many breeds of chickens developed by chicken hobbyists. The rest of the animal looked okay, but one needs to think about this carefully from an ethical point of view." End quote. So what do you make of the claims that scientists created a Humanzee? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.